So yeah, it's over guys, the DC Extended Universe is officially done and dusted. Like, it is so fucking weird knowing we're not going to be able to see any of these characters ever again. Like, Ben Affleck's Batman, gone. Henry Cavill's Superman, gone. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, gone. Like, they're all gone. This universe is burnt to a crisp. It is over. And I know I did do a ranking of this universe maybe like 2 years ago, but I want to do it again because, you know, the universe is over, and if I do this one last time, then I won't have to talk about it ever again, and I can just, you know, not have to talk about it again. And yeah, I can just do it again by using a tier list, and it'll be all good. So yeah, let's just get started with this tier list, talking about the first movie that started this mess of a universe, and that is Man of Steel. Yep, Zack Snyder's standalone Superman movie, and right off the bat, I really don't think Zack Snyder needed to direct a fucking Superman movie. Like, judging from the way he directs and the type of movies that he makes, he really did not need to direct a Superman movie. I think a Batman movie would have been much better, but nonetheless, he made a Superman movie, and it's kind of in the middle for me. It's not god awful, it's not amazing, it's just in the middle. It's alright, it's got some fun moments. Visually, the movie is amazing. Henry Cavill's Superman is just fine. He definitely has the look, but he's overall just an okay Superman. Amy Adams as Lois Lane was okay. Everyone was just fine. Great action scenes. Visually, the movie is amazing, but I really don't think Zack Snyder needed to direct a Superman movie. So yeah, this movie is just kind of mid for me, and yeah, I'm gonna put it in B. It's alright. But yeah, the next movie in this universe is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I can't believe this is the second movie in the universe. Like, you would think it would just be like a standalone Batman movie or a Man of Steel 2. No, it's a full-on Batman and Superman crossover movie. Like, that's fucking insane. And yeah, I really don't like this movie that much. It's a fucking mess. Visually, it is amazing, and Ben Affleck is really good as Batman, despite the whole killing thing, which was kind of weird. I think he looked really good as the character, and he did a pretty good job. But overall, this movie, story-wise, is a mess. The whole death of Superman at the very end was really dumb and pointless, and the overly long funeral scene was, oh, so annoying. Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg as the character was dumb. He wasn't a good villain. He was really fucking shit. And yeah, it's a visually a gorgeous looking movie, but it's really slow, boring, and just really dumb. So yeah, and the whole fight between Batman and Superman felt a little anticlimactic, sort of. I just wasn't a fan of the fight. It was kind of lame. So I'm gonna put it in C. It's a visually amazing movie, so I can give it that, but it's still a pretty bad movie. Moving on to the next movie, which is Suicide Squad. Holy shit, just when I thought this universe couldn't get any worse, there came Suicide Squad. And oh, I fucking hated this movie. This is easily the worst movie in the DCEU. Like, I find it funny that the trailers tried to make this movie look like it was going to be a really fun movie, it was going to be a fucking blast, and watching it, it was boring as fuck. It was so lame. It's a really bland looking movie, it's really ugly looking. The look of the movie is not appealing in the slightest. The characters were really forgettable. Like, Margot Robbie was easily the standout in this movie as Harley Quinn, but yeah, Jared Leto's Joker was really shit. The villains were shit that we see at the very end. Like, what, the two villains that we see, they were ass. And this movie sucked, man. I really did not enjoy it in the slightest. Easily giving it a D. The worst movie in the DCEU. I'm just gonna say that right now. It fucking sucked. Yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is Wonder Woman. Let me just say right now, it's been a few years since I watched Wonder Woman. I only watched it once, and yeah, that was a couple years ago. So let me try and remember what I can remember. Yeah, I remember thinking the movie was just fine. It was alright. It was an average good time. I think Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, she did an okay job, but I really did like Chris Pine's character, who was with her like throughout the whole movie. I thought he was very likable. Action scenes were okay, and it takes place during, I think, World War I or II. I can't really remember, but it's kind of like a war movie, and war movies have never really been my thing, so I guess this movie wasn't, I don't know, too appealing for me. But it was just an overall okay movie. But the final battle of the movie was ass. I do remember the finale, the fight with the villain or whatever. It was kind of shit. But overall, I just thought the movie was just fine. I'll put it in B. It's been a few years, so I probably should rewatch it, but it was alright. Moving on to the next movie, which is Justice League. It may say Justice League, but don't worry, it's fucking Justice League. And now that we have the Snyder Cut, looking back at this movie, it is a fucking mess. Like, holy shit. Like, yeah, maybe there's some, like, stuff in this movie that is, or jokes or whatever, that's, you know, particularly from The Flash, that aren't that funny and, from the Snyder Cut, but they are way better than any of the fucking reshoots done by Joss Whedon. Like, everything, all of the very obvious looking reshoots done by Joss Whedon was just, every scene was bad, everything felt rushed. It's just a shorter version of Zack Snyder's cut of the movie, except it's just everything's rushed, everything goes by really quick. There's this whole Russian family that's random and really weird. And yeah, just seeing all these characters like Ben Affleck's Batman and everybody just quip and make MCU like jokes is fucking weird looking back at it. And yeah, this movie's trash. So yeah, Justice League D, fucking easy. Yeah, the next movie is Aquaman. Gotta say, I liked Aquaman. I didn't love it. It's not in the middle for me or anything. I just liked it. I thought it was good. I had a good time with it. I thought it was good. It's a good movie. You know, it was a visually really nice looking movie. The underwater action scenes and all that looked really nice. I think Jason Momoa did a good job as the character. Maybe there was some times where he was a bit over the top and stuff, but overall I think he was pretty good in this movie. And I think like designs of like the suits and everything look cool. Like what's his name, Black Manta? If that's his name? I think he looks really awesome in this movie. Aquaman's suit at the very end looks really awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really like Patrick Wilson as the villain. He was fun, and the movie's visually really nice looking, and I like it. I like Aquaman. All right, it's good. I'm gonna put it in A. It's not amazing. It's not in the middle for me. I just think it's a good time. It's a good movie. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is Shazam. Just when I thought the universe couldn't get any better, we got Shazam, and I still love this movie. I love Shazam. I think it's a great movie. I think Zachary Levi was great as the character. He was funny, and his like little friendship with, you know, Jack Dylan Grace's character was good. Like I really love this movie. Like the humor was actually really good. If I had to have like any issues with the movie, I'd say like maybe some of the CG is a bit rough, and maybe the final battle with the whole family turning into superheroes, I'm a bit unsure about that. I don't know. I just kind of prefer like Billy as the superhero instead of the entire family. But overall, I love this movie. Has great humor, heartfelt moments, and Shazam is a great movie, man. I still love it to this day. So I'm gonna put it in S. It's a great fucking movie, man. It's a great movie. Yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is Birds of Prey. Or Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Impression of Harley Quinn. Yeah, great fucking title. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie. I thought it was kind of bad. Not god-awful. It's got some fun moments, and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is good, and seeing her make Deadpool fourth wall breaking jokes and all that was fun at times, but it is just a female version of Deadpool, and just maybe not as good. Like all of the characters in this movie, besides Margot Robbie, they were all pretty forgettable. Black Mask was not a great villain. Like he doesn't even wear the black mask until like the very end, I'm pretty sure. So that was disappointing. Yeah, I do like some of the violence and like, you know, the R rating, that was cool and stuff, but overall not a great movie. I don't really like it that much. I'm gonna put it in C. It's not god awful. It's whatever. But yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is Wonder Woman 1984. Oh my god, man, things were actually looking up for this universe, and then we get Birds of Prey, and then this fucking movie. Like, what the hell, man? I really didn't like Wonder Woman 1984. It's a really fucking bad sequel. Like, the whole plot about, you know, Wonder Woman getting back together with Chris Pine's character from the first movie, using, like, someone else's body that goes into, like, that he like becomes Chris Pine, and then that man is like trapped inside Chris Pine's body or whatever. It's weird as hell, and Wonder Woman just casually being aware of it, but she doesn't give a shit. That was weird, and yeah, it made Wonder Woman really unlikable. The movie's also just really slow. You can feel the long runtime. It's a really boring movie. Kristen Wiig's also in the movie, and she eventually becomes Cheetah, and I don't really know how you can do that without it looking a little bit weird. It was kind of weird. It was fucked. Yeah, I did not like Wonder Woman. It was a weird, really weird sequel, and yeah, putting in D. I'm sorry. It was really fucking weird. Moving on to the next movie, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is easily the only 4-hour movie that I wouldn't mind rewatching again, and I've already seen this movie 3 times now, so I think that's saying something. That's pretty good. Yeah, I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think it's a great movie, a really fun one. Definitely Zack Snyder's best in the 3 movies that he's done. Yeah, despite the long run time, I think it's great. Seeing the Justice League come together was really enjoyable. The movie's visually amazing, you know, like Zack Snyder does. He always makes his movie look amazing. This movie is no different. It looks really great. And the music that plays throughout the whole movie, the Justice League theme sounds great. I love this movie, man. I think it's a step up compared to the Justice League version. Steppenwolf was actually an okay villain. He wasn't like amazing or anything, but he was kind of cool, and he looked way better than how he looked in the original cut. And yeah, that's all I can really say. I love the Snyder Cut. I think it's great. Despite the 4-hour runtime, it's really enjoyable, and I'm putting it in S. It's a great movie, man. Good job, Zack Snyder. You did a good job. And yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is The Suicide Squad. Now again, just like Wonder Woman, it's been a few years since I watched this movie. I've only watched it once, so it's kind of hard to say how I feel about this movie. But watching it for the first time, I just thought it was fine. I thought it was all right. I think I remember thinking it was like kind of overrated. It wasn't all that amazing. I think, you know, the characters were okay, and they were alright. I think they were definitely better than the original Suicide Squad. Definitely. The movie actually looks nice, and visually the movie does look really good. Definitely has that James Gunn humor that you would expect from him, you know, kind of like what you would see from a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's very present here. And I don't have much to say about it. I've only seen it once. I really need to rewatch this movie to actually like understand it, or you know, like it more, I guess. It's been too long, man, so I'm just gonna put it in B for now. It's in the middle. I just remember thinking it was just alright, but I do gotta rewatch it. I really gotta rewatch it. Yeah, moving on to the next movie, which is Black Adam. The movie that was supposed to save the DC Extended Universe, and did it? I mean, sort of. I mean, you got that post-credit scene with Henry Cavill making a return as Superman, so did it? I don't know. I remember it got very mixed reviews from critics and audiences, so I don't fucking know. But how do I feel about it? Well, watching it, I just thought it was kind of mid. It was alright. Very action-packed movie, like tons of action. Like throughout the whole movie, it's just action, and I can kind of praise it a bit. Like there is so much action in this movie, I kind of praise it a little bit, but maybe there's a little too much. There are definitely things Black Adam does in this movie that was really cool. Visually, the movie it's good, it's nice looking, it's whatever. The final battle between this demon Satan looking guy was kind of lame though. I'll say though, the villain at the very end was kind of lame. There's a whole fish out of water story that goes on for a bit of the movie, and that was kind of a little uninteresting, and it was alright. It's kind of in the middle. I'm just gonna put it in B, but yeah, you know, action-packed as fuck. I'll give it that. And yeah, coming up next is going to be Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I was pretty excited for this movie because I absolutely loved the first Shazam, but unfortunately, one of my main issues, like I said about that movie, was seeing the whole family, all the orphans or whatever, turn into superheroes. I wasn't too crazy about that idea. So now seeing that this movie's gonna continue that, I was like, okay, we'll see what David F. Sandberg can do. He can probably make it work. Not for me, man. This movie's in the middle. I don't know. I wasn't into it. I really couldn't get into the idea of this whole family and orphans turning into superheroes and working with Zachary Levi as the main Shazam guy and whatever. I just didn't care. I didn't care. The villains in this movie were lame and weren't that interesting. Like, besides the opening scene, they didn't really do anything interesting throughout the whole movie. And humor wasn't as strong compared to the first movie. Yeah, this movie was just a bit of a downgrade compared to the first Shazam, and it was really disappointing, man. I hate saying this, but I'm just gonna have to put it in B. It's right in the middle for me. It was kind of disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But coming up next is going to be The Flash. Another movie that I was also really excited for, because like this, you got The Flash, and he's a really cool superhero, and he's time traveling and multiverse, and he's meeting up with Michael Keaton's Batman and a version of Supergirl. I was like, okay, this movie looks really insane. Looks like a worthy cinema experience. So I went out and saw it, and it's alright. It's very, very close to being actually good, but the one thing that stops me from saying it's good is the entire finale, the entire final battle. That's what ruined this movie for me. It's just a big CGI fucking mess of a finale, and it was really trippy and weird and confusing. The whole stuff going on to the very end with Dark Flash, the cameos, everything. I was not into it, man. I was just confused. It was weird. It was weird as hell. The entire finale was dumb as shit. Everything before that was enjoyable enough. Michael Keaton's Batman was cool. Ezra Miller did a fine job. He was whatever. They were whatever the fuck, I don't know. Sasha Kaye Supergirl could have been given more to do. It was a fine movie. It's close to being good, but that entire finale was a fucking mess. So I'll put it in B. It's close to being good, but just not good enough. Yeah, coming up next is going to be Blue Beetle. Now, I've heard people say that Blue Beetle is actually a part of James Gunn's new universe, but I'm gonna have to wait until that's actually confirmed. So before that, I'm just gonna include it in the video. Yeah, a very, very generic superhero movie. Like, the Blue Beetle suit looks awesome as hell. I think it looks great, and the way it transforms onto the main lead looks really damn cool. But the movie just, it feels like I'm watching like a Disney Plus MCU show, yeah, just the humor and everything, the dynamics between, you know, Blue Beetle and his like family and stuff. It feels like I'm watching some sort of Disney Plus MCU generic show or whatever, and like the humor and everything. It just feels, that's what it felt like I was watching throughout the whole movie, and I wasn't really enjoying it. It was also just generic, the entire finale, everything. It was just a pretty generic superhero movie, and yeah, this is really the beginning of James Gunn's universe. Off to a great fucking start. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's not a part of the universe, and this is just its own thing, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, putting in C. It's not god awful. It's got some fun moments, and Blue Beetle looks great. But yeah, pretty generic superhero movie. Coming up next is going to be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the final movie in the DC Extended Universe. And it was average. It was alright. It was alright. It was whatever. If you go into this movie expecting a big send-off or a big goodbye to the DC Extended Universe, you are going to hate this movie. You are not going to like it. But if you go into it expecting just to have an average good time, that's what this movie is. That's exactly what it is. I did that. I went into it expecting just to have an average good time, and that's what this movie delivered. It's just an average good time. Like, visually, the movie's fine. It's, you know, underwater stuff. Some of it looks pretty cool. Jason Momoa was a little over the top at times in this movie, but he was alright. Patrick Wilson was good. Amber Heard was there. You know, she was in it a lot more than I expected, but she was there. And yeah, it was Patrick Wilson, Jason Momoa's little team up throughout the whole movie was kind of fun, and I thought it was fine. I'll put it in B. Okay, as a send off to the DCEU, I'd say it's pretty bad, but as an average like fun good time movie, it's alright. It's fine. And this is it, guys. This is my tier list of the entire DC Extended Universe. I'm happy with it. There are definitely some movies on the list that I really need to rewatch, but overall, this is it. I'm okay with it. Maybe I'll change a few things, you know, maybe in a couple of years, and I'll look back and stuff, but I'm okay with this. This is my list. I'm fine with it. And yeah, it's over, man. The DC Extended Universe is done. Now we got James Gunn's universe coming up, and yeah, there's so many projects, and I'm just so excited for, like, Creature Commandos. Holy shit, I cannot wait for that. Thank you for watching. Make sure you comment below with your ranking of the entire DC Extended Universe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And of course, rest in peace to the DC Extended Universe.